Hello everyone, welcome once again to my YouTube channel The Secrets of IELTS. So in this video we are going to talk about the IELTS Task 1 writing types, and this is based on academic test. So the general training types of Task 1 will be discussed in a separate video. I am Jitin Joseph and welcome to my channel. Let's get started. There are 6 types in an academic writing task 1. So before starting we should keep 3 things in mind. The first thing is you should not spend more than 20 minutes in task 1. Task 1 contains minimum 150 words. So you have to write minimum 150 words. And the third thing is that 33% of marks of writing is there in task 1. And the rest 66% marks is there in task 2. So by keeping these 3 things in mind, let's start with the first task. The first task is the pie charts. So this is the structure of pie charts. So for example, we have 2 pie charts, pie chart number A and pie chart B, and there are 3 commodities marked. The first commodity is with blue, the second is red, and the third commodity is green. You have to explain each pie chart, okay, in your answer. You can compare among these 3 things. You can compare these 3 things. If you have to compare both the charts, then you have to compare the blue thing with the blue itself, the red commodity with the red commodity, and the third one, that is the green, can be compared with green only. So you have to explain what are the trends, what are the big comparisons, what are the major findings, and you have to give a conclusion. So this is called a pie chart task 1 format. The second types in writing task 1 are bar graphs. So what are bar graphs? Let's have a look at them. So we have 2 types of bar graphs. The first is the vertical and the second is horizontal. If we take the vertical, okay, for example, this is product A denoted by the blue color, product B denoted by the red color. We can do comparisons by 2 ways. Either we can compare both A and B like this, or we can compare A with A here, B with B here. We can't compare this B with this A. It doesn't sound appropriate, okay, and it will be on axis such as X and Y or X. The axis can be changed. Similarly, the same thing goes for the horizontal one. The only difference is the orientation. Just tilt the graph like this, it becomes a horizontal bar graph. So this is how a bar graph diagram or a bar graph question looks like. You have to write at least 150 words, and at the last you have to give a conclusion, which you have to give a clear-cut idea of what is happening in the graph together with the highest and the lowest points. The third types in task 1 writing are tables. So tables are basically representation of numbers or data in given boxes. Let's look at them. This is a classical example of a table. Products can be given vertically and horizontally, and you are given numbers or numerical data. You have to summarize the data in 150 words, and that is the minimum limit. You have to explain these in minimum 150 words. You have to summarize, you have to find trends, can compare both the products, and you can also give some superlatives. For example, the highest, the lowest, etc. So this is a classical example of a table. The fourth type of task 1 is line graph. So what is a line graph? Let's look at it. This is a classical example of a line graph. So in this we can see one information is given against another information in the form of a line. So this line is the data. We can see clearly in 2001 the population can be denoted here, the 2003 population will come here, the 2006 population will come something around here, and the 2009 population will come something around here, and so on. So the first thing you need to keep in mind is finding the trends, that is the lowest point, the highest point, the periodic rises and the drops. So these points you need to keep in mind, and you need to explain, compare the points and summarize the whole thing in 150 words minimum, followed by a reasonable conclusion. So this is an example of a line graph. The fifth type of task 1 are maps. So maps are graphical representation on a surface. We have to explain maps in our words. Let's look at the map format. This is simply a rough idea. My artistic skills are not very good, but yes, a map looks like this. So you have to just find the central point here, and through this you have to traverse, or you have to come across various points of interest given in a map. You have to explain. You can take the help of the central idea. For example, you can say that on the northeastern side there is a windmill, on the southern side there is a river, on the southern side or on the eastern side, on the western side there is a hospital, and here you can denote a forest. So every information will be given on the map. The labelings will be given. You just have to explain the map in your own words. So this is how the explanation of map takes place. Similarly, here also you have to write minimum 150 words. And here in map, we don't actually need a conclusion, because a map doesn't require a conclusion. Everything you have explained comes in the 150 words minimum. So in my point of view, the best thing is don't give a conclusion in a map format. The sixth type of questions are related to flowcharts or processes. So let's look at what the flowcharts or process looks like. This is a sample of a flowchart, also known as a process. So you have to explain the process in your own words. Perhaps it is the most easiest type of task 1 which I know. Because in this you just have to explain in a linear fashion, starting from A, ending with D, and bifurcating here in the E part, explaining the two end products. Sometimes it is a cyclic process, so we have to explain the cycle in 150 words. Similarly, here also you don't have to mention the conclusion necessarily, because it's not necessary that you give your conclusion here, as you are explaining the whole process in 3 or 4 paragraphs, minimum 150 words. So these were the 6 main types of questions asked in a writing task 1. The pie charts, the line graph, the maps, the bar graph, the table, the flowchart, also known as the process. So if you have doubt in these, do mention in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new, and do give it a thumbs up if you like this video, and put your thumb on the notification icon. Till my next video, bye, take care.